Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and today we've got the Spark Go. It just came in from pre-order. It just came in this morning, so let's go ahead and unbox it and check it out and see how it sounds. Alright, so the package came a little beat up, but yeah, it's not Positive Grid's fault, post office's fault, so let's go ahead and get it open here. Okay, so the Positive Grid Spark Go. Here's our packaging. Comes in a box covered in a plastic bag, and comes with a QR code for the Spark app. Says Spark Go Smart App Supercharged, size-defying sound, Bluetooth, huge collection of amps and effects, nothing can stop you now, Smart Jam auto chords, 50,000 tones, Bluetooth streaming, 8 hours rechargeable battery, headphone line out, and 4 customizable presets. You can never have enough guitar, is what it says. So yeah, cool. I pre-ordered this a couple of months ago. And I have the Positive Grid Spark 40, which I really love. I have a video on that if you want to check out some mods and upgrades for that. And then I did a review on the Spark Mini. The Mini wasn't as much my favorite. It just seemed like there was a lot of sacrifice to the sound. Like, I didn't find it as loud. The best use I found for the Mini was actually using it in a tube amp as kind of like a pedal, and using your phone and having access to those like 50,000 different tones. So essentially using it like a pedal. This, I think, is going to be the best application for this amp, because it's so small, it lasts for 8 hours, you can plug it right into your amp, and then you have access to all those different tones. But we're going to check it out and see how it sounds on its own rate, and yeah, let's have a look. So I'm just going to open up the packaging here and get the camera just a little bit closer. Okay. So yeah, there's our packaging. It's kind of like a matte box with shiny parts where it shows the amp and stuff like that. So it's kind of a nice box. And we've got 2 little tabs of tape on the side here. There we go. So box in a box, then you got a smaller cardboard box. Spark Go, just some branding. It does have the QR code for the app there as well. And another small piece of tape. And then on the top here we've got our quick start guide. Kind of tells you what's in here. So it comes with the amp, an alternate grill, comes with an extra grill, 2 carrying straps, strap buttons, guides, a USB-C to USB-A charging cable, and then it goes through how to download the app and some basic functions of the amplifier. So plug it in, check your presets, and then use your app for more. Also tells you how to use it as a Bluetooth speaker. Okay, so that's all pretty standard. Okay, so first thing on the top here is your extra grill. This is kind of a black plastic grill. Yeah, it looks pretty basic. It looks kind of like the grill, the Spark Mini, just a different pattern. And then, okay, here's our straps that come with it. So we've got a little black leather one, or this one is just, so the black one has like a little piece of velvet on the other side and some like black pleather. Whether this one is just nylon, it's just a plastic, kind of a stretchier strap. And then we've got our charging cable here. So yeah, just standard USB-C cable that you just plug in, I'm assuming, to any phone charger and like a charge. And then On the bottom, it says time to play. And then here's the amp itself. And then the packaging says, you know it, we know it, the need for guitar is strong. But I didn't have time, I didn't bring my amp, I can't get off this call, blah, blah, blah. So what? So we made this tiny beast of an amp. Why? Why not? Now the amp comes to you. So you can play whenever you damn well feel like it. The music is in you and you don't need to get out. It doesn't matter how good you play yet. Spark and all its app supercharged glory is at your fingertips. Go play your heart out. Don't let anything stop you. You can never have enough guitar. Huh, that's kind of cool. I like that little mantra there. So then here is our amplifier itself. Okay, cool. So yeah, it's tiny. It's probably like 4 inches long, 2 inches tall, and about like 1.5 inches deep. And then on the top, we've just got our guitar input. And then right around the guitar input is a ring that you use counterclockwise or clockwise to control your volume, which is cool. You've also got a headphone jack here. And then you've got your music here. I'm not sure what these buttons do. Maybe they cycle through songs if you're connected through Bluetooth. And then you've got 4 different presets here. So you use that to cycle through your presets, this button. And that's it. We've got our grill that you can take off as well. And this one, this grill has the brown pattern with an actual fabric kind of woven in between the plastic. And this one is just straight up plastic. It doesn't have anything else. I think this one tends to look a little classier. And this one has a honeycomb grill pattern on the back too. So okay, here's the speaker itself. We can see we have a tiny little tweeter right here. And then this is probably for your bass response. You can see if I push that, it moves. So that's kind of where the air would move inside of this cabinet or whatever. And then on the side here, you've got your USB-C plug-in as well as your power button, which is kind of just a flat button kind of into the side here. On the back, it's just rubberized, so I'm assuming you can play with it either standing straight up like this, or you can put it down in the back and don't have to worry about wrecking it because it's got a nice rubber pad here on the back. Okay, let's go ahead and put the grill back on. You've also got a little strap here. I'm assuming so. Yeah, it looks like. Let me see how it looks like on here. There's no pictures of it with the strap. So we do have a strap button here, but only one. So I'm assuming you would put the 2 straps on the button and then use it as kind of like a loop. And then you could kind of put it on your belt or bring it with you, or yeah, that must be how they want you to do it. All right, so let's go ahead and turn it on. Here's the button here. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that on, and then it turns green. And it also has a Bluetooth symbol on there. So I'm assuming if you want to pair it to your device, you're going to long press that. So I'm going to go ahead and long press it. And yes, the Bluetooth was blinking there for a second. Let's try that again. Then it goes back to green. Oh, but the Bluetooth is on and blinking. Okay, so yeah, long press is how you would get the Bluetooth looking for it. So I'm going to go ahead and find it on my phone here. See if I can connect it right away without any issues. I did have some issues connecting to the Spark Mini. It was a whole thing. I had to do a firmware update, and it took forever to get it up and running. So I'm hoping that this is a little bit more streamlined. Okay, so right away it comes up on my phone, the Spark Go Audio. I'm going to go ahead and pair that. And pair. And it's active already. So, okay, it was very easy to connect this time. I had a lot of trouble with the Spark Mini. I'm just going to go ahead and play a song here. Just so we can hear quickly how it sounds. Okay, so this volume is not for the Bluetooth. So this must be just for your instrument, and this controls your music volume, the up and down. So let's max it, see how loud this thing is. Then I guess you caught me lying to myself. What kind of fool doesn't think about it? What kind of fool doesn't think about it? You have to be a fool not to think about it. Am I gonna settle down? Am I gonna be someone who has to take the rest? All right, so first impressions, just connecting it to Bluetooth. It sounds good. It's quite loud for how small it is. I mean, most of these small little Bluetooth speakers are quite loud for their size, but yeah, this is no exception. It's quite loud. Sounded clear. I could hear everything pretty well. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and try to connect it to the Spark app, and we'll see how that does, because I had a problem with this last time too. So, okay, we're going to hit connect. It's searching for the Spark, My Spark Go. So it found it right away this time, and we're going to connect. Connecting. Taking a little bit of time. Still connecting. Alright, I'm just going to let it connect. I don't know if it's downloading something or something like that, so I'm just gonna wait here until it connects or doesn't, and if it doesn't connect, we're gonna have to go through some troubleshooting. So I'm just gonna leave the phone here for a while and keep an eye on the time and see how long this actually takes. So it's 9:29 right now. Seems to be stuck. This doesn't really seem to be connecting. It should never take this long, I don't think. So I'm gonna go ahead and try again. Seems to be doing the same thing. So okay, I'm gonna pause the video and gonna do some troubleshooting and try to get the Spark app to connect. Alright, so when I go to connect, I've reset my phone, I've tried to update Spark, I've updated my firmware. When I go to connect now, it says pair Spark, so I hit that and I hit pair, and then it says failed to connect, and then I hit retry, and then it just cycles the whole thing over again. So this is the same problem I had with the Mini. I think how I got around that is I connected to the amp by Bluetooth first. So I'm going to go ahead and try that. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the amp. So now I've connected Bluetooth to the Spark Go, like for music, and then if I go into my Spark app, that's how I connected to the Mini, I think. So searching, it found the app, or it found two of them for some reason. It asked me to connect again, and then it says failed. Let's try to connect to this one. Okay, it actually connected this time, but now it's asking for a firmware update. Okay, so just like the Mini. The firmware update is kind of annoying on these. You kind of need to know what you're doing in terms of a computer. So it does make it pretty streamlined, but I mean, there's zip files that you have to unzip and run things as an administrator, or at least that's how it was last time. So I'm going to go ahead and see how that's changed this time. All right, so the link that they gave for the software update for the Go didn't actually go to the right page, so you have to kind of find it yourself. So I'm going to hit the Spark Go, And then I have to go through the notes here to find the Go update. So, okay, I found the update. So again, super not very user-friendly here. Then I have to find the specific... Alright, so then it goes through the steps. So first you have to go to the downloader, download it, then you have to extract, run an administrator. So yeah, it's a whole thing. It'd be nice if there's a way that Positive Grid could make your phone do this and update it without having to go through all these steps, because this is going to turn a lot of people off, especially since you can't even use the Spark app until you do this update. So people who aren't very tech savvy are not going to be able to use this out of the box. So that's a problem, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take some time to plug this in to the computer, update the firmware, and hopefully we can get this up and running pretty soon here. Okay, here we are, successfully connected. So the steps were I had to follow that link, find the firmware update to the Spark Go, download it on my computer, unzip it, run the program as an administrator, plug in the Spark amp, download the update, and then after that, actually the update updated first time. This time on the Spark Mini I had problems, I had to redo it, and this time that was not a problem. And then after the update I had to remove this from my phone because I had already previously paired it, but it doesn't recognize it's the same device with the new firmware update. So I had to forget the device, repair it with my Bluetooth, and then use the Spark app, and it finally connected. So again, I had these same problems with the Mini, and it's going to turn a lot of people off if they can't get into the app, because otherwise this is just a really small amp with 4 presets. The real power of this amp and Positive Grid for these small amps is the app, because you have access to like 50,000 different tones on the tone cloud. You can make all your own different tones and all that kind of thing. So okay, I'm plugged into the app here, and I just wanted to make sure I could connect. I'm not going to use this yet, but what's really cool about the app is you can change your presets to whatever you want. So a really powerful thing about the Positive Grid software is they have a tone cloud, it's called. So you have all these different pedals and cabinets and EQs and all sorts of things that you can make your own pedals and sounds and configurations on the app, and then save it to your amp, or you can share it with the internet. And so there's you can just scroll endlessly for thousands of different tones that people have made themselves and uploaded. So here you can see that there's a Metallica one, Dire Straits, Fender, Classic Goldface, Fireball. So different amp models, different artist sounds, different song presets, all sorts of stuff. And there's over 50,000 of these. And you can scroll through these endlessly, find your favorites, save your favorites, and then you can even download them as presets for your app, or use them in real time as you're browsing them, and your amp will change to that. That's why this is really powerful, I think, as a pedal. We found a way to hook up the Spark Mini to my tube amp, my deluxe Fender Reverb, and we were using it pretty much as a pedal. So you can save your favorites on your phone and cycle through those quickly. You can just browse and just continue to try different ones, or you can use the 4 presets on your app as well if you don't even want to use your phone when you're plugged in. So yeah, that's really cool. And then you have all the other features from the Spark app, which is, you know, it's got jamming software that you can jam with. You've got recording things. You can change the EQ of your amp. You can do all sorts of stuff. Built-in tuner, metronome, all sorts of cool stuff. So the app is really the most useful part of these amplifiers. The amps themselves are great. Like the Spark 40 is really loud for how small it is. I didn't like the sound of the Mini as much, so I'm hoping this Go is going to sound just fine. Because basically what I'm using this for is a little couch amplifier. So this you can just put on your couch. You can put some headphones on if you want. Bluetooth headphones even, although those are going to give you a little bit of latency. There's new headphones on the market, I think by Yamaha, that have like virtually no latency, so those would work really well with something like this. Or you could just, you know, throw on a set of wired headphones, and you can even use a wireless guitar system, so there's not as many cables. And then you could even just strap this to your belt or something, so you're not getting tangled up in cords. And then, yeah, just using this as a couch amplifier with access to a million different tones. You can try out different tones and pedals that you might want to put on your real pedal board. And then you could, yeah, I'm going to be plugging this into my Deluxe Reverb and using it as a pedal and see how that sounds too, because that has a lot of different applications you could use. You could use it as a live rig with like basically 50,000 pedals that you have access to, so that's cool. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm plugged in, I'm attached with the app, but I'm just going to go ahead and plug a guitar in, and we're going to use the presets and just see how it sounds. It looks like all we have is volume and presets, 4 different presets. So let's just see how that sounds. Okay, I'm plugged in. I'm just going to be using my Barnyard Telecaster here, and we're just going to use the bridge pickup just for this test. So okay, I'm on preset 1 here, and it looks like, yeah, you can adjust the volume just with this little ring here. So you can go all the way down and all the way up. Cool. So it makes a little guitar noise when you're at max volume, so you know that you can't go up anymore. So let's just hear that. Bump, bump. That's cool. All right, so we're on preset 1. We're at max volume because this is such a small amp. I just want to see what kind of volume we can get out of here. So I'm on my bridge pickup on the telly. So yeah, this one's pretty mellow, pretty quiet. I can easily talk over it. So yeah, I'm not sure how usable that first preset is. It's very quiet. I just want to see if the music button does anything. No, that's just for Bluetooth on your phone. And I wonder if you long pressing. Oh, okay. So long pressing the preset actually gives you an onboard tuner, which is cool. It's not really mentioned in the manual there. So that's neat. And then if you press that, it automatically comes up on your phone as well. I just have the app plugged in, and you can see on my phone the tuners come up here. Oh, that's not my phone. The phone's over there. Yeah, so that's kind of neat. I didn't know that. Kind of stumbled upon that feature, which is cool. All right, I'm going to long press it and go back. All right, you just got to press it once to go back. So long press to get to tuner, press once to go back. I'm on that first preset. I'm at max volume. So yeah, it's just kind of clean with a little bit of echo on there. There's no way to adjust the effects without the app, so you're just kind of stuck with this. So that's what I mean. If you don't use if you're not using the app with this amp, it's going to be severely limited. All right, first preset is very quiet, just a clean with some echo, and we're going to move on to the second one. So this is kind of like an overdrive. It's just got a little bit more dirt, and it has a little bit of reverb or echo on there as well. Again, we're maxed out. But it's good for the couch, but so yeah, it sounds a little thin. It could just be the telly with the single coil, but I'm just going to roll down the tone a bit and see if that helps. Yeah, the tone control definitely helps a little bit with that. All right, so next preset. So we're on preset number 3. So this is kind of like an overdrive now. It's just a little bit more distortion. So yeah, it sounds okay. It's overdriven, and again, you can't really change any of that sound without getting into the app. But it's a decent preset for some harder stuff. All right, so I'm assuming that the fourth preset is going to be even heavier. So. All right, so the more distortion that's on the app, or on the amp, the louder it is. So you really need to get that gain up to get some volume out of this thing. So yeah, same kind of a thing. There's no echo on this preset. All right, so yeah, back to the first preset. So yeah, at max volume, it's definitely not very loud. It's probably just fine for what it is, just for jamming on the couch, or just a little tiny little portable amp, maybe even around the campfire, that kind of a thing. But definitely not as loud as the Spark Mini. And one of my criticisms on the Spark Mini was it was pretty quiet. So, I mean, this is a lot less expensive than the Spark Mini. I think this is like $160 Canadian is what I pre-ordered it at. So for that price, I mean, just having access to the software with a device like this that you can plug in with the headphones is worth it to me. But yeah, that added, you know, couch application or something like that is a nice feature too. So now I'm going to go ahead and start using some of the presets in the Spark app and see how those sound on the amp itself. So here's something I noticed. It's a little tippy. So yeah, if you have it plugged in this way, if you've got your guitar plugged in like you will, if you pull on a little bit, it's going to fall. So maybe it's best to keep it on its back there. So yeah, I was able to log into my Spark account, so I have some saved presets here. So I made a preset called Tele Master. You can actually find that on the Tone Cloud if you look for it. And it's just an effect I put together for a Telecaster. So let's just see how that sounds here. We're at maximum volume. So yeah, there's a little bit of a kind of a distortion or a rattle happening at top volume. I'm just going to turn it down just a little bit to see if that's still the case. Yeah, you definitely don't hear that unless you're totally maxed out. So let's just... And it doesn't happen all the time, so maybe if you just make sure you're not totally maxed out, you should be fine, I think. So just gonna try a couple different presets. Here's a Stevie Ray Vaughan. What I find is a lot of these presets sound very different on the different amps rather. So my Spark 40, that AM fuzz sounds really good, and it really doesn't sound good on the Go. So whatever presets you have, you might have to customize them for the Go, just because the speaker's a lot different and it pushes air differently and all sorts of different factors. So just keep that in mind. You might have to change your presets. What sound good on the Spark 40 might not sound good on the Go. So here's another one here, ZZ Top. This one's really distorted, so this is really going to push the volume for the amp. So let's check this one out. Just going to roll down my tone a bit. Here's a preset called Led Zeppelin Telly, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so yeah, the amp itself sounds okay. Pretty good for a little, you know, couch amplifier. It does what it needs it to do, and it's not too loud. Probably sounds just fine with headphones. You can get a little bit more sound out of that. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it into my tube amp and use it as a pedal and see how that sounds. So I just want to quickly show how I've got this rigged up here. So I'm going from my headphone jack with like an 1/8 inch cable, like a headphone cable, and that's going into the input of my amplifier, like so. And I'm just using a 1/4 to 1/8 inch adapter. So just a headphone adapter to 1/4 inch plugged in there. And then I'm just plugged in to my Spark amp into my Telly. So that's the setup. It's very simple. And that'll allow me to use my presets on my phone, the presets on the amp, and scroll through the tones on the tone cloud as well. So let's get that going here. Okay, so I'm plugged into my 65 Deluxe Reverb reissue. I'm using the PS1 Power Cell Continuator. My amp is set at 4.5 for volume, 6 for treble, 6 for bass, and 2 for reverb. And then I'm plugged into the Spark Go here. I have that thing on full volume, and then I'm just using my Spark app on my phone to go through different presets and then adjust the different tones through the app. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. A little trebly. You could probably tweak that in the tone itself. Let's see what else we got. So this is a Black Sabbath one. So probably meant for humbuckers, but I'm going to try it with the Tele anyway. I'm just going to turn down my volume a little bit. So yeah, actually sounds pretty good through the tube amp and everything. I guess, again, you can adjust everything to your preference. So there's definitely a lot of ways to get some good sounds out of here. I'm just gonna, this one's called Spooky Melody. Let's try that one. All right, so. All right, so that one's different. Again, that's half the fun of this, is you can just go through this app and just scroll endlessly until you find a preset that you like on the Tone Cloud. You can download it, you can save it to your amp or your favorites, and then you can go in and further tweak it to sound the best on the amplifier that you're using. Like if you're using a 65 Deluxe Reverb reissue like me, you can go in there and make tweaks till it sounds the best on your specific amplifier. So again, that alone is worth the price of admission to me. Super powerful, and then you've got your 8-hour battery life as well, so you can use it as an 8-hour portable pedal for your amp. So that's really cool. Here's a 12-string one. I think this is the last one we're gonna try, because I could just go forever. Try the neck pickup for this one. All right, so final thoughts on the Positive Grid Spark Go. As a Bluetooth speaker, it's good. It's not the loudest speaker I've ever heard, but it's good for what it is, for the size. As an amplifier, it's not that loud. There's only 4 different presets, and it's good for what it's designed for. So this is great for like couch jamming, or maybe even a little bit busking, although I think it is a little too quiet to busk with, so you might need something a little bigger, the Mini, or a 40 with like that battery mod that is in one of my videos. You can check out that video, I'll put it in the description. There's a bunch of mods for the Spark 40 that make it pretty cool. But yeah, it's great as like a couch amplifier. If you had headphones, it would be just fine. Having something this portable and connected to the Spark app is well worth the price of admission, because you have access to all those different tones. It's got a tuner, it's got a metronome, you can adjust the EQ, you've got jam software, recording software, all sorts of stuff. So the fact that this can connect to the app, and it's a portable little device that lasts for 8 hours, is definitely worth the price, which is, again, not that much. I got this on pre-order for $160 Canadian, shipped. So yeah, definitely worth it just for that. And then the other awesome feature of this is it's basically a rechargeable pedal that has 50,000 different tones in it. So you can plug it into your amplifier. You can use the presets on the app if you don't want to use your phone at all. There's only 4. Or you can use your phone and have all your favorites that you've already tweaked and messed around with right there on your phone, ready to use. Or you could just cycle through the 50,000 tones on ToneCloud and find your favorites, and just tweak those to your specific amplifier and sound until you have a huge list of your favorites for that as well. I also just wanted to mention the setup was not great for this amplifier. I don't think that the way that the Positive Grid is handling its firmware update is very user-friendly, and it's going to turn a lot of customers off. So if there's a way that you could update this with your phone, I mean, that would be the way to go. It would make it a lot easier for a lot of different people. Some people don't even have access to a computer all the time. So to get the full benefits of this out of the box, I needed to update the firmware, which required me to use a computer, plug it in. I needed to have some computer knowledge about how to use, you know, a computer properly. I needed to know how to unzip a file, run a program as an administrator, and then use a program to update it. So, I mean, the steps are very concise and clear, and most people should be able to figure it out. But, you know, someone who's not used to computers or doing that kind of a thing is definitely going to have a problem with that. And then they're going to have issues with having all the features out of the box. So, I mean, if you're just using this as an amp, it's not feature rich. You've got 4 presets and a volume on a mediocre sounding speaker. I mean, it's fine for the size of it, but you definitely need access to the Spark amp, or app rather, to get the full benefits of this. So that's just a disclaimer. So yeah, definitely worth it. Awesome little piece of hardware, especially when connected to the app. On its own, it's not a great amp, but the sum of everything together makes this thing amazing, especially for the price. So if you're on the fence about this, if having a portable, rechargeable infinity pedal sounds good to you, then pick this up for $160 Canadian, because there's nothing else that I know of that even touches that. So that alone makes it worth the price, and you know, it's decent for the size and its sound and its portability features as well. So yeah, great. Definitely glad I bought this. I'm going to be keeping this and using it a lot. So great. Thanks for tuning in to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and I hope you have a great day. See ya.